Peace and love, wonderful family. Good morning to you. This is the Spikes 54 Correspondence Show on Black Fire Network, your media for the 21st century, your #1 online radio. Thank you and welcome to this wonderful episode of the 54 Correspondence Show. We talk about Africa. We talk about issues pertaining to Africa, the continent at large, from the top: North Africa, South Africa, East of Africa, and West of Africa. We are the Nairobi studios of the Black Fire Network. I welcome everyone to the show. Much peace and love to you. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. If you can hear me, let me know that you can hear me. Just key in one. I see Nish. Welcome to the show. I also see Brother Elias Money. Elias Money, you happen to find us finally. You happen to find us finally. You've missed out on a few episodes. I know it's because we switched the stations, the channel. Sorry. Let me know if you can hear me. Key in one, so that we'll just get started with this episode of the 54 Correspondence Show on Black Fire Network. Welcome everyone once again. There's an echo. There's an echo. There's an echo here. Let me fix it. Give me a minute. Thank you, Sister Nish. Let me know if the sound is any better right now. Thank you, Sister Nish. You can let me know if the sound is any better. Let me know if the sound is any better, so that we can proceed with our show for today. Let me know if the sound is any better, if the echo is minimal. Okay, I hope the sound is better. Brother Elias, welcome to the show. It's been a minute. I know we switched the channels because on the other one you happened to play some music and that we were not supposed to play to, that was copyrighted. That was a song by Koffi Olomide, and it got us into a lot of trouble. Of course, we know that they always like looking for an opportunity, to shut down this channel. And hopefully we'll be back on the other different channel, the original one, so that I know, because many people know the original channel that has a bit more subscribers, and we can be back again on that particular channel, I think in April next month. Good morning, Keith. Welcome to the show. Good morning, or welcome to the show. I'm just saying that Elias Money has missed out because he never knew our new spot. This is a new spot on this channel. I'm sure that Elias Money did not know that this particular channel, but I hope you've subscribed to this one. Sometimes it's crazy because YouTube keeps on shutting us down because of the information, of course, mostly on Kate's Newsome show, the Black Fire show. That is, most of the time they keep on messing with the shows and everything else. So welcome to the show. This is a 54 Correspondence Show. Like I mentioned, we talk about African matters, topical issues on the continent, and even other trending topics. Today we have a great show lined up for you. Today we shall be talking about a racial attack in South Africa that just happened over a few days ago. And this is a presenter, a TV and radio presenter by the name Mongesi, who was attacked by some white people, some white young men in a car that had just overturned. And these people, the TV presenter had just stopped over to go and help these particular people in the other car. And now they got attacked with a group of his friends. They got attacked. This is in South Africa, Johannesburg. They got attacked in this particular case. And it's crazy because we'll be talking about that. We'll also be going to showing you a few of the photos. Like I just showed you one of them. Mr. Mongesi on his Twitter shared all the photos. He was attacked and called a monkey with the friends. They were traveling, but then they stopped over to help someone whose car had overturned. And then that was a pickup truck. Then these guys started attacking them, calling them monkeys. This was a group of white people in South Africa. And it's crazy because This happens to happen in just a few days ago. This is not the apartheid. This is not the apartheid period. This is not. I'm not talking about the 1992 or 1991 or 1994 or any other time. I'm talking about a few days ago when this particular journalist was attacked. You can see some of his photos on his Twitter, and he talked about it. This is not. This is not a guy trying to pull some Jussie Smollett. This is not a guy trying to pull some Jussie Smollett. This is not a guy who paid these white dudes to attack him. This is a guy who had friends, and other friends also witnessed this particular assault, and they were called monkeys. And this is a group of a few young white men in South Africa. And these are the people, exactly, Keith. These are who these people are. This particular journalist from the he is a journalist and a presenter at the SABC channel. SABC channel is one of those big media houses in South Africa. SABC is the South Africa Broadcasting Corporation. It's a government station. Now these people are heading home, and he had a group of his friends. These are Mongesi guy. He had his friends. Mangesi, sorry, he had his friends. And it's crazy because Mangesi was attacked as he was trying to go help. He was trying to go help someone whose car was broken down and was overturned. But then he found himself in a situation where he was being attacked himself with his friends, being called monkeys, and all other kinds of abuses and insults to him. Exactly, Nish. I agree with you. These people need to take out this beast. There's no time to go to the to go to the case to get the courts for nothing. And these people are set free for nothing in a country that is. It's crazy when you think about this thing. It's crazy. This is a young man here. This is a young man here. Eventually, he had decided to drop the case and just forget about it and carry on with his life. But now he's gone to the authorities, reported these, recorded statements. But it's actually very sad. You can see him here. He's at his job place doing his work. The young man here in a gray blazer and in a brown shirt here. This is a young man who was assaulted when he was going home and he was with his friends, and he tried to pull over and help some people who were in another truck that had overturned. And then they assaulted these people, kicked him to the ground, and almost broke his ribs trying to kick him on the ground. These some stupid. I don't know even how to label these. To label these. Anyhow, before we move on from this story, we shall take you back to 2016. 2016 in August 2016. In August 2016, two men were found guilty in South Africa. Two white farmers, they were found guilty in South Africa for assaulting one of the South Africans and putting him in a coffin. They put him in a coffin, and once they put him in a coffin, they had threatened him that they'll set the coffin ablaze. Let me just show you. This was a black young man. An unemployed resident who is put in a coffin, who has been put in a coffin. This was in 2016. Who was put in a coffin, and they had threatened, these two white farmers had threatened to set this coffin ablaze. They had threatened to actually set this coffin ablaze. You even try to think you've hosted these people in your country. You even trying to think that you're doing good by hosting these people in your country, and the kind of disrespect. And this is 2016. This is not in 1900. This is in 2016, August of 2016. But then this case was taken to court. This case was taken to court. Let me show you these particular people that were in that particular. Let me just show you these people. These are the two white pigs. They are the two white pigs that had put that particular young man in a coffin, and they wanted to close this coffin and set it on fire. This is in South Africa, and they were claiming that this guy had stolen some cable from their farm. These are the two people in court. This is in 2016. They had put him in a coffin. They put him in a coffin, and they were claiming they want to set the coffin on fire. And they had actually kidnapped this guy. They kidnapped this guy. They wanted to, they had with an intention of causing him bodily harm and even killing him, perhaps because this guy would have been killed once you put in a coffin, and they wanted to set it on fire. These are people who had kidnapped this particular young man. The funny thing is that the authority is not doing much to help because the government is focused on other things. This is the particular court session. This is a court session, and you find the group of activists that had reported to that particular case in the court session, where these people were found guilty. They were charged on 7 counts of assault and all, and I think they wanted to kill him. I don't know what 7 counts they had been charged for, but this particular court was full of people and activists. But you find these the justice system is not doing the South Africans any good. This is a court session. You find this is a court session that was full of journalists and was full of activists, because this particular young man was put in a coffin and was claimed to have stolen cable from these farmers, from these white people's farm. Actually, this is not their farm even, because if it's your farm, then you have your farm in Europe. You don't have your farm in South Africa. The system is not helping so much because these people, I don't know if this particular case with Mongesi will actually see the light of the day. I don't know this new case will see the light of the day. Welcome, Ziman, welcome to the show. We are talking about an assault case on a South African journalist and a TV presenter. His name is Mangesi. And Mangesi right here was attacked. Mangesi right here was attacked by a group of young men in an old truck. He had stopped over, he had pulled over to go and help. But once he got out of his car, he was attacked by this particular group of young men in South Africa. This is South Africa a few days ago. The presenter works at the SABC, which is the South African Broadcasting Corporation. And it's crazy because the justice system is not doing pretty much, because like you see in that case in 2016, these guys had pleaded not guilty. And then later they said that they were trying to scare him. How do you scare someone and put him in a coffin and setting it ablaze? It's crazy. So that has been the case. This is not a Justice Mallet kind of setup. This is an actual thing that happened. He was with his friends, Mr. Mangesi. He was with his friends actually, and right now he's in hospital, where he was taken in hospital. But of course, he's recuperating right now. And he has recorded this case with the authorities and recorded statements and all those things. But I highly doubt these men will be held accountable. To justice will prevail. This is the kind of South Africa we have right now. You're a black man in South Africa, and you can't live in peace, and you can't live. You have to. It's crazy. So moving on from South Africa, let's go to the love white people. And you find even, the funny thing is, Sister Nish, the funny thing is you'll find, those Dutch people. There's these Dutch people who came to South Africa and they took over these farms. There's that language, the Afrikaans, which is Dutch. It's a Dutch language that is a mixture of Dutch and a bit of the Bantu language. You find people happily speaking the Dutch, and I'm not even able to comprehend. Sometimes I'm not able to comprehend. I'm not able to comprehend what is the issue here. You saw the Kun Mandela doing his thing and nothing. It's crazy. Anyhow, moving on from that, let's go to Nigeria. We rarely have positive news about Nigeria, and this is not an exception. We also have something that is not very, very positive. Actually, 10 people lost their lives in a school that collapsed, in the school building that collapsed. Actually, in Nigeria, this building, the authorities say that they had recorded and reported that it was a distressed building. But you wonder, these building authorities and the construction authorities in Nigeria, if at all they had reported it as a distressed building, why did they not evacuate the people before, or just shut it down, or shut down the school till something is done? So these 10 people have lost their lives in this particular area in Lagos Island. Lagos Island, it's in Lagos. And this was a four-story building that collapsed. And a four-story building that collapsed, of course, there were so many casualties. These were 10 casualties. And it's a school. And furthermore, before even this particular case, we had a case where we had a church that had collapsed, still in Nigeria. And you wonder, the construction authority, we still have the guts to come and say, oh, we had warned these people, we told them it's a distressed building. Why not put it down? Why not shut down everything why wait till the building collapses, then come to the media and say we had told them it's a distressed building? Let me just show you a few photos of this particular incident. This is one of the kids who is being taken from that particular building. You can see from his face, he's very, very scared for his life. Exactly, Nish. This is the case. Corruption. You will find so many cases of buildings that have been earmarked for demolition because they are not suitable for occupation by the locals. But you find the owner of these buildings has bribed the construction authorities or whomever is responsible, and they continue to take rent or rent of buildings. They continue to take rent. If it's commercial houses, they continue to take rent also. And then when something happens, they won't give a shit about the people and corruption. This is one of the kids. You can see he's a small boy. Imagine these small children, their lives being put in jeopardy because of a corrupt official somewhere, because landowner or a house owner who owns this particular building or school. That is one of the photos. Let me also share another photo here. It's very, very disturbing seeing all these photos and the situation here. These constructors are trying to save money and construct houses that are substandard. They are trying to save money in court. Down about the people, and then the other is also in cahoots with them. Will also be in cahoots with them. We have the Kenya. This is not. We have the same in West African city happening. On the 54 correspondent short of positive. Of course, you have positive things happening in Africa. Sometimes you wonder where this bulldozer from this particular place, and then the thing is, the response was a bit quick. The response was a bit could have been lost in this particular case. So many lives would have been lost. For example, in south of Koram, this is called the toy market in Nairobi. The toy market was told assailants. Of course, there are people who have just then the people coming out to put the fire. The disaster response unit, Africa, this disaster response for a day to respond. In this then the authority and anyone else who's coming to this particular takes probably 2 hours or 3 hours, an hour or 2 hours, and you'll have excuses like all these other things will continue to be lost in this particular in this. Moving on from moving on to Congo. Sorry, Mr. M. We have the president who was elected in we have the president who was elected in this particular country, and Kedi, and this particular guy, this particular president, of course, sorry, he was he was elected recently, and he's trying to get the CAC together in a good shape. And what he's trying to do. Good morning. Sorry. Give me a minute. I'm just trying to fix this. What he's trying to do is trying to sort of reconcile different factions, reconcile different factions of this particular country, the DRC Congo. You know, the DRC Congo is a place where there's a lot of what do you call these? There are different factions trying to seize power, and so you find the country is in a bit of instability. Let me just call it instability. It's in instability. Are we still live on this particular? I don't know why we are not. Let me just fix a thing here. Just a second. Welcome back to the show. Let me know if you can hear me well. Let me know if you can hear me well. I think we had a bit of a hitch. Kindly let me know if you can hear me well. Let me know, family, if you can hear me. We had a bit of a hitch there. We are talking about the DRC Congo. The DRC Congo. Anyone, if you can hear me, just let me know. Okay, thank you, Nish. Thank you. I thought I couldn't. I thought that the connectivity was a bit problematic. Welcome back to the show. We're talking about the DRC Congo. One thing is that I actually did not know till recently that you can take a bus from Nairobi to Goma in the DRC Congo. I actually did not. I just happened to know that a few days ago when I was inquiring about the trips to Rwanda. Thank you, Keith. I actually did not know someone can actually travel from Nairobi and go direct to the DRC Congo. I thought you would have to take so many buses, but I actually got to know that the DRC Congo, you can just move from Nairobi to Goma. Goma is in the DRC Congo. But the funny thing is that there's still a lot of fighting that is happening in that region of Goma. You find that those militants and rebels are still trying to. Mostly it's about power and resources. It's about resources and power in the DRC Congo. So recently, Mr. Joseph Kabila last year, he claimed he relinquished his bid to vie for the presidency for another term. So he hand appointed someone else to actually take that job. And Mr. Bemba, that we were talking about, Jean-Pierre Bemba, who was a vice president and was the opposition leader, he tried to get a particular seat, but of course, Joseph Kabila's man, Mr. Felix Tshisekedi, actually got that particular post, and he's the president. And so this particular president is trying to reconcile the country together, the DRC country. I'm not putting a bus to Congo. No one wants to go to Congo at the moment, but of course, no one wants to go to Congo at the moment. Anyhow, I was talking about the reconciliation happening between the different factions in the DRC Congo, and so the president right now has released political prisoners. He's decided to release these political prisoners, and 700 political prisoners were released from prison. You find that when you have an autocratic or an authoritarian leader like Joseph Kabila was, and you're part of the opposition or you're a militant leader, a militant group leader, and they happen to catch you, then they'll put you in jail. So they had caught these 700 political prisoners, and right now Mr. Felix Tshisekedi has decided to, the president of the DRC had decided to let them free. I don't know if this is a great move. I don't know if this is a great move. I don't know if this makes him look soft. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? What are your opinion, family? Let me know. Let me know your opinion. Do you think letting political prisoners free, the 700 of them, will make the DRC more stable? Do you think that it reconciles the people back together? What are your opinion? I would just like to hear from you. Let me know what are your opinion about the DRC Congo and the president releasing 700 political prisoners. And these political prisoners, of course, they represent different factions of rebel groups and other interest groups in the DRC Congo. Do you think this is a wise move? Do you think it makes him seem democratic, or do you think, what are your opinions? I'd just like to know your opinions of you, family. Keith, Nish, do you think, and Zeman, do you think setting 700 political prisoners in the DRC Congo will contribute to the peace of that particular country? Nish, you say no. I also don't see this going very, very well. There have been African leaders who've tried to broker deals. You know, sometimes you just have to call these all these what do you call them? All these rebel groups and bring them on the table. And when they are on the table, then you can be able perhaps to we never hear about the Republic of Congo. It's crazy. I'm talking about having all these leaders, having all these what do you call them? Rebel leaders. Having all of them come to a table. Having all of them come to a table, and from this particular table discuss the way forward. Because right now, Mr. Joseph Kabila was rolling through what you call the iron hand. The iron hand. More people act the fool. More people to act the fool. Once I wonder. So the DRC Congo, let me tell you, Keith, what is happening. The DRC Congo, we had Mr. Joseph Kabila, who was the president last year, and he decided not to vie for another term because there was some protest going on and regarding him trying to vie. So Mr. Joseph Kabila instead decided to pick a puppet. He decided to pick a leader, someone, and handpick him and suggest him to the people. And then, of course, the elections were sort of, how the elections go in Africa. And so this particular guy, Felix Tshisekedi, actually won the elections. And right now, he has released political prisoners, 700 political prisoners from prison in the DRC Congo. He has released them, and he's trying to reconcile the people together. Like Nish, I also agree. I agree with Nish. This is not a very, very wise move. I would like to see a situation where the rebel groups and these other factions come together and on a table and decide the way forward. But I don't see these 700 people being released from prison going very, very well. Of course, there will be revenge. There will be some revenge and trying to get back at this particular authority regime. I don't see things going very, very well in the DRC right now. Not the DRC, the other Congo country. Yeah, there are two. Zaire. You're talking about there are two countries. There are two Congos actually. The DRC, of course, is the biggest. The other Congo, nothing much happens in the other Congo. Nothing much happens. I don't know what happens in the other Congo. We'll be looking out for you. We'll be looking out. Actually, I just realized that, Keith, you're very, very true. I just realized that we hardly talk about the Republic of Congo. We hardly hear nothing from that country. So something must be happening in that particular country. I get there are two of them. There's a Democratic Republic of Congo, and then there is a Congo. The Republic of Congo, we'll dig into that. We'll dig in. Yes, that. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's pretty much messed up. I don't know what happens. We rarely talk about it. We also rarely talk about countries like Togo. You'll not hear us talking about Gambia. I don't know what really happens. Let me tell you one thing. Even on social media, you'll hardly find someone trending or anything happening in Congo, in the Republic of Congo or Togo. There is either a media blackout or there is either, I don't know what happens there. I'll just be honest with you. I have no idea what really happens in that particular country. The two countries, Togo, the Republic of Congo, and some other different countries. I have really no idea on whatever transpires in those different countries. Perhaps there's a media blackout of some sort. Perhaps communication and these other infrastructure is not there. Perhaps that could be the case. So moving on swiftly, let's talk about the Ethiopian air crash. The Ethiopian air crash. You remember last weekend, an Ethiopian airline, jetliner 783, actually crashed as it was leaving Ethiopia to come to Nairobi. And there were different nationalities in this particular plane. The funny thing is that as I was looking at those numbers, I just realized that there were very, very few Ethiopians. There were very, very few Ethiopians on that particular plane. It was an Ethiopian airline plane. I'm not saying that Ethiopians don't travel, but there were just very, very few Ethiopians. So I think about seven of them, seven passengers, seven or nine Ethiopian passengers. And we had 32 Kenyan passengers. We had 32 Kenyan passengers aboard that particular flight. I know about that country. Wow, Togo is all I know about that country. I don't know about Togo, Keith, but I just want to start and know about Togo. So we're talking about the Ethiopian Airlines. Remember, this is a 54 corresponding show on our Black Hot Fire network. Remember, you can also check us and give us feedback on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We are all over on the media. And now we're talking about the Ethiopian Airlines. We're talking about the Ethiopian Airlines, the plane that crashed. The Ethiopian Airlines, there was a plane that actually crashed that last weekend. Most of the people were coming to the UN, the United Nations environmental program meeting, because there's a meeting happening. Actually, the president of Sound check, mic check, sound check, sound check, sound check, sound check, sound check. Sound check, sound check. Let me know. We just lost. Mic check, mic check, mic check. We just lost connectivity for a minute there. I don't know if you're still with me, guys. Let me know if you're still. Thank you, Nish. Thank you, Nish. I thought the live was disrupted because the connectivity was bad. I think this has turned to become Congo, the Republic of Congo, streaming live from the Republic of Congo. Anyhow, yes, G-Man, the 737 MAX was banned worldwide. So in South Africa, in Ethiopia, over the weekend, guys boarded the plane to come to Nairobi, because in Nairobi, that is where we have the United Nations Environmental Program offices. And now we had the environmental summit, the environmental summit. And now the French president, Mr. Macron, or I might call him Macaroni, or whatever his name, this particular man was coming to attend and officiate the meeting, of course, officiate the meeting with his counterpart, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, the president of Kenya. And that meeting, of course, when these foreign dignitaries, I might not call them dignitaries, but when they come through, there's a lot of traffic jams and things come to a standstill. Some roads are closed. But let me tell you, when our president happens to go there, happens to tour and go to France, I don't think any road will be closed for nothing. I don't think any road happens to be closed for nothing. And also, this particular plane, this particular, what do you call it? It's called the black box. The black box has been taken by the French. The Ethiopian Airlines black box has been taken. It has been taken by the French experts to go and study and see what might have been the cause of that particular accident. Of course, the same accident, a similar plane crashed in Indonesia. That's really a good cracker. Of course, he's a guy who he refused to the artifacts for Mali and Senegal and these other countries. That is a no good cracker. He refused to the artifacts to return the artifacts from West Africa, from Mali, from Senegal, from all these African countries. He refused to return the artifacts. Right now, he was in Kenya yesterday. I don't know if he has left yet. He probably has left. He was in Kenya yesterday for that particular meeting with that particular meeting. Of course, there was a quarrel. There was a quarrel also between him and the Rwandese president, Mr. Paul Kagame. Because it is Mr. Kagame and put it out there that the French were very much involved in the genocide in 1994. They had a very, very big hand. They had a very, very big hand in that particular genocide. So the French, of course, they were here, but I was just alluding to the fact that there were very, very few passengers from Ethiopia on that plane. There were actually about 7 or 9 passengers. We had 32 passengers from Kenya. We had 32 passengers of Kenyan nationality. And the other country that was second was Canada. We had so many Canadians coming from Ethiopia to Kenya for that particular flight. And we also have the Chinese. We had the Chinese also coming from Ethiopia to Kenya. I was just checking that list of the casualties and their nationalities, and Kenya had the highest in Canada, and then the Chinese also were there, and other Scandinavian, European countries are passengers. But there were very few Ethiopian, passengers. I'm not saying there should have been many, but the company that makes these particular planes, the Boeing, I think we should be held responsible, because if this same situation happened in a European country, of course, planes come down and there are plane accidents in European countries, but much more would have been done. Right now, the Boeing company, of course, they say that the planes were good. Of course, it was a new plane. They say that the plane was good, but right now the French have taken that particular black box. They've gone to study it, because the experts here might not have that particular expertise on the Boeing. So the French have taken that particulars. But what do you think? Your guess is good as mine. And Israeli, of course, and Israelis is just the same. Yes, for exactly one said last night. So, of course, what might come from this study. The French, yes, they were responsible for that. They were responsible. So when he put it out, there's a diplomatic row between Rwanda and France. They will still bring the devil answers there. So Nish, whatever happened on this particular plane is that the black box was taken by the French experts, aviation experts. But I don't think anything will come of it. I think the French experts will say nothing. They'll most likely say nothing, even if they find any faults, I'm sure. Even if they were to find any faults that is on the Boeing side, of course, things, nothing will come of it. It's just like the postmortems that are carried out on someone that the government has killed. You know, those extrajudicial killings, but sometimes carried out by the government, those African governments that act like the mafia. When a postmortem is done, or whatever it's done, then nothing comes out of that particular case. I also see the same thing happening. The Boeing Corporation going to take a huge hit. Ellie's money to some extent, but I don't think I love an African media speaking our voice people. Yes, Paul Kagame did keep Ellie's money to some level. I agree with you, but the Boeing Corporation is going to take a huge hit. I don't think it would have been a different case if at all those companies, or Boeing was an African company, then they would have boycotted. But now it's a company in America. It's a US. It's a Boeing. So of course they'll have their way around. They'll still make planes, and they know how to do their PR. These are the lives of people lost. There were so many people who lost their lives on this particular accident, plane crash. And that was just about 12 minutes from when it left. And there was a call that was made back to the station saying that they want to go back, that they have experienced some challenges. But of course, it crashed before the pilot could make that turnaround and go back and land the airplane. So it took a nosedive, and that is how our people lost their lives. Peace, and I just wish just a condolence message to those who lost their lives, and peace to their families. I just wish that they can find peace in this particular hard moment. So moving on from Ethiopia, we come back to Kenya. There is always something happening in Kenya. So there was this lady who gave birth, a homeless woman who gave birth to a child in a park. It's called the Uhuru Gardens. It's a park in town. And this particular lady, the people went crazy on Twitter. Let me just share with you a photo of this particular lady a homeless lady who gave birth in the park, because she would not afford to go to the hospital and get medical maternal services. Let me just share with you this lady. But of course, people came through for her, and eventually she was taken to hospital. But this particular lady, homeless lady from Nairobi, she actually delivered her child in the park. And it's funny because when we were talking about maternal health in Kenya, of course, there are not many people who are able to afford it. One of the government promises was that they would give free maternal services in government hospitals. But then a year or two down the line, there is nothing free in those maternal services. The government, the people, the political leaders will come and give those fake promises. Tell you that they'll tell you that your women can be able to access free maternal health services, and nothing happens. It's also funny because recently, as recent as last weekend, the wife of the president, of course, our lady is Margaret Kenyatta. Of course, she had a funds drive trying to organize a campaign to raise money for maternal health services in Kenya. Her campaign was called Beyond Zero, so that we have zero maternal deaths, zero women dying from birth complications. And so she started a campaign where people raise money to start mobile clinics, mobile birth clinics, if I can call them birth clinics. And it's funny because that was last week, and we still have women having children in parks. We still have our women having children in parks. So a particular young lady, her name is Rebecca Atieno. Rebecca Atieno just happened to deliver her child in the park, because she'll tell you that there will be chicken in every pot. Exactly, Keith. That's what they tell you. They'll give you those fake promises. They'll tell you that you'll find you'll get free maternal health in public hospitals. You'll not pay a cent to go deliver your children there and get those services. And then just a few days after that, then when you actually elect them, then it's back to the same old situation. You cannot deliver children here without this particular amount of money. You have to have this particular cover. You have to have these and that and all those other crazy things. So that has been a case. That particular lady happened to deliver her child. The wife of the president, the first lady, is trying. She organized a campaign. It's called the Beyond Zero campaign. It's for maternal health. But we are yet to see that. In Kenya, it's where you find even billions going. There were money that was allocated to construction of dams and irrigation projects, 21 billion. And you find the money has been released. The money has been released in Kenya. Actually, today the Minister for Irrigation and Water Services was before the investigation panel in Parliament to explain how money was taken from the bank. A few billions was taken from the bank and submitted and paid out before a project actually began. So 21 billion is missing. This is a beautiful country that has a lot of things. I actually shared that story with our kids sometime, that we had 21 billion shillings missing for dams and irrigation projects. And the money was even taken from the bank before any projects began. How do you pay for something before the project actually even begins? How do you, anyhow, that's a story for another day. As we come to the end of our episode today, let's talk about the fake pastors. Let's talk about the fake pastors in South Africa. The government, the president there has said that the government will try curb these fake pastors and prophets. Recently, you saw a prophet who was trying to raise a man from the dead, and that was drama, well organized. And so Mr. Ramaphosa, who is the South African president, has said that he will deal and curb these particular false prophets who are taking money from people and conning people, and in the name of miracles and in the name of all these other things. And I hope action will be taken. Museveni, of course, does take action. Museveni said he will not deal with such kind of people. They will go to jail. If at all they are freezing people off their money, they'll end up in court. They'll actually end up in court. On the footnotes, we'll talk about the saga from the UK. In the footnotes, we'll talk about can you say corruption? It's corruption, actually, Keith. Yes, true, it's corruption. On the footnote, we'll talk about, we'll leave those South African pastors, and we'll talk about the saga of Always. Of course, Always is a sanitary pads company. It's a sanitary pads brand. And the people in Africa have complained that the kind of product that is brought to Africa, or the kind of product that they get here, is very, very low quality compared to the same product that is sold in the UK. And so the company that does that Always brand has come to defend itself, saying that that was a one-off case where the product was not up to standard. The sanitary towels given to the women here are of lower quality, but they will still want to charge the same amount of money. It's crazy because multinationals in Africa, maybe those who make something like soda, or those who make things like household items, the kind of quality of product that is brought to Africa, or that is served to Africans, and the kind of product that is served to the Europeans, it's very, very different. And so the company has come under fire. This Always brand, the sanitary towels brand, has come under fire because they are serving African women substandard products, while they make the better products for the UK. That is crazy. Boeing makes F-35 military flight vehicles. Okay, Zeman. Anyhow, I just wanted to know your input on that particular story about Bemba, taking you back to the story about Bemba and him forgiving or just setting free 700 prisoners in the DRC Congo. And that brings us to the end of our show. I think setting the prisoners free in Congo will not help. Setting the prisoners free in Congo will not help. It will not bring more peace. Also, the situation in South Africa about that particular journalist and presenter that was assaulted. Action needs to be taken. Action needs to be taken. We need that Shaka Zulu spirit. Actually, Shaka Zulu must be turning in his grave because that particular young man was a sort of called monkeys, and we saw the other man who was being put in a coffin that was supposed to be set ablaze. Something needs to happen. Mr. Ramaphosa needs not to spend all his time on these fake pastors. He needs to spend his time on addressing real issues to do with that land that is owned to the South African people. What do you call this gentleman? What do you call this gentleman from the gentleman who speaks out on these land issues in South Africa? His name is sort of escaping. His name is sort of escaping, but yeah, we need to focus on real issues in South Africa and not get drawn in all these dramas by the prophets and the pastors and everyone else. We need to focus on real issues that are regarding that land in South Africa that is supposed to be owned by the black people, the black community. They actually own it. We need to check the Indians and the Europeans there. We also need to check corruption, because corruption is bringing things down in Africa everywhere. You saw that land in that building in Nigeria collapsing. So above all, I think corruption, and also addressing the leadership issue. If we are able to address leadership issue and corruption, then Africa would be a bit better, because we are looking for solutions. When we come on the show, we also like to address and look at solutions, because when you talk about corruption and tribalism and poor leadership, we should also try put our minds together and find solutions for these particular problems that are ailing Africa, so that when we fix these issues, then the continent will start to shape up. We have issues in health sectors, we have issues in education sectors, but these are to do mostly with corruption and the leadership of the continent. And that is what I always say, that these problems that you have, the maternal, the health issues, the education issues, the justice issues, these are to do with leadership and also with corruption. If we're able to address these two issues, then we might be able to move forward. So much peace and love to you. I wish you a wonderful day. I know your schedules are very, very busy, but you found your time to join us on the network. Remember to keep supporting the network. Share the video. We're totally able to put in $1, then we can be able to make a bigger team here. Our plan is to have a bigger team that we're able to work with, and then things will shape up, and we'll be able to push and put our people to the next level in regards to information and also in regards to action. Much peace and love to you. Wishing you a productive day and also a productive remaining part of the week. You and your family, everyone and their families, I'm wishing you a very, very good remaining part of the week. And that brings us to the end of our show. Much peace and love. Thank you, Elias Money. Elias Money finally found his way to this particular channel. We might not be on it for so long. We might actually now in April go to the other bigger channel. Ziman, thank you also for joining us on the show. We appreciate your input and your thoughts on these different issues. KEITHNEWSOME, I appreciate this particular platform and giving us a platform where we can bring minds together as a Black community all over the globe. We really appreciate your work, even as a Nairobi studios. We really appreciate your work. And also, who else is with us? Jiman and Nish, I just mentioned you, and Keith and Ellis Money. I'm wishing you a happy remaining part of the day. Have a productive one. Much peace and love to you. It's Black Fast always. Remember, show love and support your fellow Black man, and let's move together to a place of global prominence at the top once again. Much peace and love to you. Goodbye.
mwana waffe